Welcome back to Sage and Cedar. I picked up this dresser for only $50, and I'm a sucker for this design where it could be almost a buffet, but almost a dresser. It could really go in either situation. I really like this black color, but obviously she's looking sad. She's a little tired. So we're gonna sand it back, give it some primer, and give it a fresh new coat of paint. I think it's gonna sell beautifully. This dresser is certainly very dirty, but the shape of it is gorgeous. I love this little outline on the top, and these drawers are really in pretty good condition. I was surprised. Normally I always get some sort of drawer issue, but everything looks to be operating pretty good. So this might be another quick flip for us. We do have a little bit of damage here. Unfortunately, it's not solid wood, but that's fine. I think we can still sell it for a good profit. We're gonna need to correct that. But what drew me to this piece, look at these details. That's so pretty. And here on the side too. So that's really what drew me to this piece. I think it'd be really beautiful in like a dining room, could even go in a bedroom, could really go in a lot of different rooms. We've had a lot of tile contractors come over working on our master bathroom, and they've been cutting tile, and so pretty much everything in the garage has been covered in some layer of dust and dirt, and things are getting kind of gross. So she's gonna need a lot of cleaning. People normally take out the drawers when they come to move it, so you wanna make sure you get down there, especially the lower level, because everything's gonna fall down to this lower level. Pick out, here's some bobby pins. We don't need that, and give it a little vacuum. These knobs are in good shape, and you would be tempted to keep it, but trust me, having silver knobs like this, you're not gonna sell it for much. Found more directions for how to attach a mirror. We don't need that anymore. Having the right knobs really is what's selling your piece. Because if I refinished all this and put these back on, it honestly, it just would not sell. It would take so long. And I've seen a lot of people use spray paint. Now I've seen people use spray paint to cover up silver knobs and make them kind of the brushed gold look. But in my opinion, it's not very professional, and the texture doesn't feel quite the same. It doesn't feel luxurious. It's not something you want to spend hundreds of dollars on just to have spray painted furniture. You know what I mean? So most of the time, 99.9% of the time, I will always just buy new hardware rather than painting old hardware. And I do realize that that cuts into your cost margin, but it's just one of those ethics things. I think it just sells better, and I'm more comfortable giving something that is new rather than spray painted to my clients. Because they're gonna know. They're gonna know it's just spray painted, and I just think that sends the wrong message, you know? But if it's like very unique, one-of-a-kind hardware, then I'm a little bit more tempted to spray paint it, but even still, I rarely do. The only times where I do regularly spray paint is if there's like key plate covers, and you've seen those. I've done a lot of those. I will spray paint those because you're not really like feeling those or touching those. So, you know, it doesn't matter as much. They are honestly decorative, unlike knobs. Where you're putting your hands on these every single day, your fingers are getting on them, they might chip. You really just want them to be durable and feel nice. We're going to do a nice light scuff sand on this, just enough so that our paint and primer can stick to it. And you know I love my surf prep. It sucks up all the dust. I used to not have this back when I first started. We just used the Ryobi orbital sander, and I don't know, those are so cheap, but they did the job. I used that thing for like a year on all of my flips. It worked perfectly, but the dust got everywhere. And so I upgraded, got the surf prep, and I have to say I do really love it. It's obviously a little annoying dragging the cord around and the hose, but that is a price that is well worth it to be able to have virtually no dust floating around. My shop now is pretty clean. I mean, relative, you know, it's still very dirty, but that's for different reasons. When I used to use my orbital sander, it would get dust everywhere. And now it's pretty clean and I'm really happy with it. While I was sanding, I'm noticing all these little triangle indents, and there's like them on every single drawer. So I'm gonna take this glazing putty and just put them right over top of all those little triangles. I've noticed that a lot of manufacturers put like intentional little defects or little markings on their wood. And I think it's just a way to add character. And like, I respect that, but I get so annoyed when I see these because then when I paint it, it just makes my finish look really bad. So I always have to go back over and correct all these. Sometimes they're just like a cluster of dots that they very obviously stamp over everything. I haven't seen this triangle mark too often. Coincidentally, the last piece I did also had this triangle mark, so I was already kind of looking for these. But if you're not paying attention, I mean, they're everywhere. They can just sneak up on you, and it's fine. But when you're going for a painted look, like all these little notches can quickly become overwhelming and make your piece look a little bit off. And I doubt I'm going to be able to find all of them, but I think even filling just the majority of them, specifically focusing on the drawers, you know, you really want your drawers to look good and you really want your top to look good. Obviously you want everything to look good, but if you're going to be a perfectionist on any part of it, I like to put my energy towards these drawer fronts. To help keep this from continuing to fray, I'm also going to cover it with some Bondo. It's just going to lock in all of that MDF and prevent any more water from getting in there, because it frays because the water and moisture gets in there and causes it to swell up. So this is essentially sealing all that in there, and it gives it a little bit smoother of a finish. That glazing putty dries pretty quickly, so I'm just going to give it one more scuff sand over, make sure they're nice and smooth, and then we should be able to get it off to the spray tent. With these being inset drawers, I'm going to spray with them in. So to keep them clean, we're just going to add a little bit of tape around the edges. This will be helpful too because I'm planning to just pop these out just enough to be able to spray these edges. So this is going to keep the inside nice and clean while allowing me to get all these edges perfectly painted. I always wish there was like 4-inch tape. I think this is the 2-inch one or even 1.5 inches, but it'd be great if they had like big wide ones that you could wrap around, because it is still tricky to keep the insides clean, especially when pulling them out a little bit for painting. And obviously there's the tape that has the plastic wrap and all that, and I do use that, but mostly just for the tops. I don't use those for the drawers. So So I really just want like extra wide tape. I recently bought the Flexio 5000. I'm sure at this point you've seen a few videos of it. I'm still on the fence a little bit, so I'm going to keep using it, see if I can find a good way to make it work. I do think it's better than some of the cheaper ones, but I'm not sure if it is as good as my Graco, which you've seen me use a lot. That one really has like the perfect finish, but it's so much more expensive, and it is a pain to clean and uses a lot of paint. This thing is so much easier to control than the Graco, but sometimes I get iffy results. The last few I've been able to get a good result, which is great, but I'm still not completely sold. I don't know how many flips it's gonna take until I absolutely trust it, but we're still working on a relationship. Dang, this thing is really big. I did get a 10 by 10 tent, but as you can see, it doesn't really fit that much stuff in it. I think because it's so arched. I've been thinking lately if I should get like an easy up that might, I don't know, allow a little bit more space because these walls come in so much. So I think we're gonna have to jockey this around as we paint, which I don't like to do. For our primer, I'm gonna go with the Wise Owl Coffee Bean Primer. I think we're gonna go with the color black for our overall paint, and this is a really nice, juicy, dark brown. So, you know, I don't wanna go with like a white or light primer because we're just gonna be fighting ourselves then going back to black. So I think we're gonna go ahead with this dark primer. And I should have just enough left to be able to get a good coat. Our primer is dry. Do you see how nice this is looking already? Wow, it's amazing, honestly, what a coat of paint can do. I do love this color. But this is literally just primer. Do you see how beautiful this is? All right. Well, we are going to go for the Wise Owl Jet Black paint. Get that strained and put in our spray gun. And I think it's only going to take 2 coats since it's already pretty dark. And you can see the drawers are looking great. We have our tape here protecting them. Then since we pop them out, we have the color on the edges, so that's really great. It'll reduce how much time we have to go back and touch it up. I'm still gonna touch it up after the fact, but getting most of that already covered with the sprayer is really gonna help us out. One of my rules with painting is that I always have to wear my smock because I'm messy and I get things everywhere. I have our black paint already to go in our can here. I did use a strainer. These are really great just getting all the clumps out because my cans have been sitting for a while, so it's really good to just use a strainer, make sure everything is nice and liquidy. If you're looking for a good black paint, Jet Black by Wise Owl is one of my favorites. It's just the classic. If you don't have access to that, you can find Limousine Leather at Home Depot, Ace Hardware, pretty much any store should be able to carry that. But yeah, classic black, it sells really well. I mean, it just makes everything look a little bit more classy and it's a favorite. Another little trick when putting these together is make sure that your straw here is facing forward so that when you're tipping it forward, it's still gonna have access to the paint at the bottom. If you have it facing backwards and you're spraying like a horizontal surface like this, all your paint is going to be at the bottom and it's only going to be sucking in air, so it's not going to work. So make sure you have this in the same direction as your nozzle. I am still trying out the Wagner Flexio 5000. So I'm going to be using this cardboard piece of paper just to spray, make sure we're good. It was a little thin at first, so I added a little bit more water, turned up the pressure, adjusted the nozzles. If you're interested in more of a deep dive of how these different sprayers work, I'm happy to make a whole video showing exactly my tips and tricks, how to clean them, and what is really worth the money. So leave that in the comments below if that's something you'd like to see. Everything was looking good except for this one dog hair that got on there. So I took the opportunity, take another pass with the red Bondo. We'll give it a chance to dry and then we'll just do one more coat only on the top. Just got that last coat on the top. You can see how the reflection is absolutely perfect. That's a good sign that hopefully we don't have any striping or anything weird going on. It looks just like glass up there. So we're going to give that a little while to dry. Hopefully that is a crystal clear finished. And then we're going to be all done. Then I think it's dinner time. This is my favorite part of furniture flipping. Rolling it over on the photo wall. Look how beautiful this finish is. I am absolutely obsessed with this piece. The details are everything. I think this is going to sell really well. First, we got to finish this up. Let's get these knobs on. These knobs are looking so good. I get these requested every single time I do a custom order, and I can't blame them. All right, but before we finish this up, let's look at the before. It was crusty, it was old. Yes, we still painted it the same color, but come on, tell me it doesn't look 1,000,000% better right now. I am obsessed. Now she's classy, now she's clean, she's all fixed up and ready for her new home. And let me tell you, I love furniture flipping because this took me a casual weekend of a few hours here and there. It was great. It wasn't too much work. And you know what? The best part is I am going to make 10x on this. And actually, by the time I'm editing this, it's already sold. So I confirm that I went from $50 to $550. And this is why I keep doing this. It pays my bills. It allows me to do furniture renovations in my own home. And I can do bigger home renovations, which really increases value back into my own family. This side hustle has been a game changer for me, and I love sharing it with you guys as well. So if you have questions of how you can do this too for yourself, leave them in the comments below and I'm happy to address them. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will catch you on the next flip.